Morning. It is Friday morning. It is October the 17th. Rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And this morning, let's just start in the tropics, right? Because we've got one area that we are monitoring way out in the nowhere in the open Atlantic. This we do think will eventually become something. Okay, and because of that, the National Hurricane Center has this area tagged and this area highlighted as an area of interest. Super original, right? Go figure. All right, so let's talk about it. First off, low end chance of tropical development. We're going with a 30% chance of development over the next 7 days' time. Keep in mind, though, that that number certainly will go up over the next few days as things start rolling up. Tim says it's like a throwback with the t-shirt. Yeah, I've got some outside work to do today, so here we are. Here we are. At any rate, there you go, right? So, watching the Caribbean for some tropical development. 30% chance of formation. This is that area that we've been talking about for a good while. So, let's just get right to it and go right to the raw computer models, okay? This is the American GFS model, and I'm just going to roll through time here. Right there, south of Puerto Rico, about Monday afternoon. This is 5 p.m. this upcoming Monday, October 20th, right? Trying to get its act together, very near Puerto Rico. That's Friday, the 24th. So notice it doesn't really move much during the week next week, at least according to the GFS model, okay? That's the 25th. The GFS model basically bringing this right over Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. And it would be a hurricane. Wind gust, that's 107 mile per hour hurricane there. So, again, one run of one model. I'm going to show you more data, but just wanting to make sure you're aware of what we're looking at there. All right. Then recurving out and moving out to sea. And then big old front coming in around Halloween. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if we could time that out properly? All right, so that's the American GFS, at least the 6Z run. Let's go to the 0Z run. Developing near Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Let's go to the 18Z run, 2 runs ago. Same area. Let's go to the 12Z run, 3 runs ago. Fairly similar area. So, all right, we've got 4 model runs where the American GFS model is showing almost identical locations here. All right, so that's something to watch. Let's switch over to the European model. All right, and again, the problem is the Euro on the 6 and the 18 don't really go out as far. So let's go right to the 0Z. Takes it a bit further west, over Jamaica, over Cuba, near the Turks and Caicos, and then kind of rides it around and hangs it out there. Very different scenario. Let's go to the 12Z European. Big old, that's a beast mode of a hurricane, and that's going to be October the 31st. So we're talking Halloween. What are the winds in this bad boy? 148 miles an hour out near the Caymans. So the GFS is kind of linked to this Virgin Island Puerto Rico idea, whereas the European is a little different. The European wants to bring it near Jamaica, Cuba, and then kind of having it hang out there. So what's going on here? Well, the struggle this time of year is you end up with cold fronts. And when you've got cold fronts in the area, it changes dynamics. Tanya says, we are not wanting that bad boy. Oh, I agree. I have no desire for that storm system at all. But, you know, when you deal with cold fronts, you add this wrinkle of sorts. You add this element that you'll have to track, right? And so it makes it difficult, honestly. And so understand that the models are going to struggle with this because think about the complexity of this, right? water temperature, wind shear, dry air, land interaction, speed of the genesis, the speed of which it develops. I see Jamie Louise Underwood on Facebook says, I think the GFS is trying to develop it too fast. Absolutely right. Um, it's a possibility, right? And so these all play into its eventualities. That's why deterministic models are really not the best thing to look at. Now, we look at them and I will always show them to you, but understand that there are other tools that we can use. Now, let's go back. I've got a couple more determinists. Since we're, into like intense analysis, we're going to go in a little more intense with this. All right, so this is Monday, 2 p.m. This is the Euro AI deterministic model. Kind of following the GFS's lead there, and then big old cold front afterward, right? So, all right, we'll move over. Let's look at the Canadian deterministic. All right, so the Canadian actually develops it prior to even making it into the Caribbean. See, and it weakens it, and then it has it missing some cold fronts and then kind of falling apart. So, there's a lot of there's an almost infinite number of paths that it can go. So before people are like, well, what does your gut say? My gut says it's something that we're going to need to watch, which is why I'm leading Coffee Talk off with it. Tommy's asking, will this storm come to Florida? Don't know. That's why I'm leading Coffee Talk off with it, so that we can just look at all the analysis right off the top, get an idea of what the models may be hinting at. I'm drinking out of my American Red Cross. I saw John Lanzetti yesterday, one of the greatest volunteers to the American Red Cross Central Florida chapter. If you know anything about the Red Cross, you know anything about John, that's a good man right there, and that's a good man that does a lot of good in our community and around the country. So anyway, when I saw him yesterday, I was like, you know what, I need to rep the Red Cross today. So anyway, former board member of the American Red Cross, unbelievable organization. I can't say enough good about it. All right, so that's what is that? That's the Canadian Gem. Okay, all right. So anyway, let's switch over to some ensembles here. And for those of you that are new, we've got a pretty decent amount of folks in here. We've got about 600 or so watching on the different feeds. So what is an ensemble? Well, this is the GFS ensemble. So what happens is once the GFS is done running, it goes back and it reruns 30 different ways. Think of these as mini models. It uses all the data from the main model, but it readjusts them. So what you end up with is 30 different ensemble members, which I'm showing you here. Now, of course, who the heck wants to sit here and look at that screen? What I end up doing is I put them all together on one screen. And what you have here is a beautiful mess, a beautiful disaster. All right, so we'll roll through and starting to watch some of these ensemble members developing lows in the Caribbean. That's going to be Thursday, 12 Zulu, which is 8 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. So that's 8 in the morning. Yeah, release the hounds, exactly. All right, so what we end up with is through Saturday, October 25th. So during the week next week, ensemble members showing up more and more areas of low pressure, right? So during next week, the confidence is growing that something is going to try to get going here. Go, yeah, I'll see you tonight at rehearsal. Um, Confidence is growing that we're going to see something trying to develop out here, right? Now, where does that something go? Tanya says, I'm a beautiful disaster. Yeah, you are, girl. Get it. Where does it go? Just about every one of the GFS ensemble members curves it east of Florida. There are some that bring it closer, but basically, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Turks, Caicos, Bahamas, those are going to be the areas to watch. What's that timeline look like? That's going to be like October 27th, 28th, 29th. So this is just before Halloween, right? So yeah, that's some interesting stuff there. Now, a couple things, and I don't have this in the new graphics package, so I don't even know what it would be called. I know it's not in the new graphics package. This is what I'm looking for. So let's just talk a little bit about, terrain, because ahead of this, terrain, pull up, right? Ahead of this, there's a lot of mountainous terrain, okay? Peak Mayaca, for example, 7,700 feet. You've got Pico Duarte, which is the tallest peak. And I really should, you know what? Let me do this in the new graphics package because I know we're going to want it. Stand by. This is the stuff. Hold on. Copy you. We'll put the new banner on there. Bear with me. New banner. Put that text in there. All of these boxes need to get changed over to the new Hearst 2025 box. I need to change the map. See that blue? That's our old blue. Got to do the new blue. It's like mind blistering. We'll do the Mercator projection because that's what we like. Actually, is it the Mercator? I'm pretty sure it was Mercator. Yeah, it was Mercator. Okay. Just making sure that it was Mercator. From the sphere to Mercator. And then the labels. It needs to go from that outer glow to all caps. All right, now that's in the new graphics package. Save as. See, that's as quick as it takes to convert something old to something new. There's the graphic I haven't finished yet. The rivers. All right. So, what I was trying to say before I so rudely interrupted myself. Demon Matt says that blue pops, good grief. Yeah, well, that's where we're at. So anyway, these are the Caribbean mountains. So when we look at the terrain ahead for this tropical wave, Pico Duarte, 10,000, that's 2 miles in the air, right? Pico La Selle, that's a mile and a half up. These are very, very large mountains. Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola. So any of these ensembles that bring stuff that direction certainly are going to show some sort of impact from those mountains. But you see most of them take them. The important thing to note, and what I'll do is instead of showing the member-wise minimums, let's bring this back, and I'm just going to show the raw lows. All right, this is going to be a little different look, but essentially just following these low locations, just about all of these members keep it away from us, right? Just about all these members. There's a few that are going to want to bring it over Florida, but just about all of these members are going to keep it away. So, terrain, pull up. Yeah, so that's the GFS ensemble. All right, let's back it up. Back it up. All right, Euro AI. All right. Let's go to the 0Z. All right, so here we are. That is Saturday the 25th. So according to the Euro AI, we're not even really getting into development until a week from tomorrow. So we've got some time. Actually, this is standard Euro, not Euro AI. Just about everything is east of us. I like that. I mean, I like that. Priscilla says, nice haircut. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I like that. Let's just look at the raw low locations. Yeah, I mean a few around, but vast majority east of us. So that's a good thing to look at. All right, let's come back and let's look at the Euro AI. Euro AI is still running, but at least we can look. Tim, is Florida going to Florida? Always. You know that. Yeah, the Euro. What is the Euro AI doing? It's like kablowy. It's got some. Oh, I'm just missing some frames here. It looks like it's just missing some frames. All right, that's fine. Either way, a lot of these ensemble members are keeping this stuff away from us. It's y'all on lives I watch replay every day. Priscilla, how are you? Thank you. All right, so Christy's asking, what would cause it to move to Florida? Well, so this time of year, think about it. Like we've got cold fronts that are moving here. So if a cold front is weaker, if a cold front is stronger, all of those dynamics change. So, you know, there's a lot of questions. It's funny. I saw somebody made a scenario. It's like scenario here, there, or there. Well, no crap. Like that's where it could go. Of course. This is what I see. Scenario one, two, and three. Okay, right. And so at this point, we don't have the data to kind of get an idea of where this is going to go, right? What we do know is that is not really much right now. Right there, it is out in the open Atlantic. Here's what I see. Okay, cool. So what you're saying is it's going to move somewhere. Got it. I love it. Could do this, it could do this, it could do this. Sure. So, all right, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. It's doing nothing right now. Demon Matt, what wristwatch is that? It's the Garmin. What is it? It's the Mach D2 Mach 1 Pro, something like that. The Garmin Pilot Watch. I don't know. All right. Next name, by the way, on the list. I know all of you are super disappointed. Karen has already come and gone. Melissa is the next name on the list. Sweet Melissa. Sweet Melissa. Yeah. Tanya's asking, can we just blow it away from us? Yeah. Better that people use probabilities of landfall. I just always laugh when it's like, well, I see a few scenarios here. So you're saying it's going to move that away. Got it. No matter where it goes, it's going to go somewhere. Right. I laugh so hard. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? Oh, you give Volt. When it comes to the tropics, I just laugh. I just laugh. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right. Now that said, think about it. We are on that like secondary peak. Now we're going to be coming down off that secondary peak, but we're still in that secondary peak of hurricane season. For now, though, we've still got hurricane season to go. Think about it. Hurricane season runs until the end of November. We've had storms every month of the year. So it's not like just because we're outside of hurricane season, we can't have something. We can have something. We just typically don't. That's all. All right. Trish says, wow, spice in that coffee today. Love the bright blue, easy to read. What is all right? Well, that's the idea. That's definitely the idea, right? So listen, we'll watch the tropics. And by the way, just for discussion purposes, this graphic, if it were to move directly to the United States, it's 10 to 12 days away from us, but obviously it's not moving directly to the United States, so that's not a concern. But anyway, so that's where we're at in the tropics right now. There is that other area that has a low end chance of forming as well. The good news is that moving away from us. So the tropics for now, behaving. Boy, what a hurricane season this has been. No complaints, but what a hurricane season this has been. Terry says there are several flies in the ointment that can cause Melissa to go somewhere. It's not named Melissa yet. I always make fun of the people that are like, soon to be Melissa. Melissa to be. I honestly cheer on it, and I always cheer on like a something small to develop for those people. I'm such a snarky schmuck. Like I'm like we all have that hill we die on, right? I'm so the older I get, I feel like the more I'm just like this grumpy, snarky person. And I told a lot of people here recently, I'm like, I'm not going to be getting better. I feel like the older I get, the grumpier and snarkier I'm going to get. I think. I think. Voice Mather says, just for safety, I'm throwing my outdoor furniture in the pool. Only if you act like the Hulk and you're like, angry. And get it on camera and post it on some social channel because somebody's going to sit there and share that. You'll go viral. Hurricane. Right? I can't see any of the comments. I moved here almost 4 years ago, and you've always been the weather guide for me. Says Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Thank you. I appreciate you. As I'm trying to clean my glasses. Lawrence says feisty Fridays. That's funny. We're feisty. Am I on the air today? Nope. Nope. I am in a t-shirt and shorts. I'm doing some manual labor stuff today. So t-shirt and shorts. Let's see here. Filters. Yeah, Melissa says, "Welcome to the 40s." Right. That was what my eye doctor said. Is he's like, so welcome to the 40s club. Now you have progressives. Awesome. Love that. Love that so much. Christine Washington on YouTube says, "That's because as we get older, we just don't care. We learn that we don't have to take it anymore." So true. So true. I don't want to say it's embarrassing because that's not it. I just don't care. Like yeah, you're right. You're right. Diane says, "Oh, wait until you hit 50s. Filter is tougher to keep on the mouth." For my job, I feel like I really need to figure that out though, because yeah, yeah. Gonna name it early. The Gulf says, "Hold on, hold my Campeche." Drink. Yep. And my coffee's gone. Now you want to get feisty me? Now that I'm done with my coffee, now we're going feisty because I need anyway. Yes, Debbie. A few things. Yeah, I wish this Eric could be on TV. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I'm going to put up the 7 day forecast while we're chatting. You know what's funny? I had a talent coach say, "We need you to be Coffee Talk You on TV." And I was like, "You sure about that? I don't know that you do." Have you ever watched Coffee Talk? I feel like that would get me fired. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely a little snarky here. Melissa's asking, "How's the airplane?" So mechanics, I saw Alex yesterday. Haven't quite gotten to the airplane. They had a DEA airplane that came in, so it's still sitting there. It's still ready for love. Just needs the inspection. I'm 48 and my filter broke at 40, the ghosted woman on YouTube says. Yeah, I feel that happening. I feel that happening. Yeah. Is the wave behind it a part of the same wave? The models aren't going crazy with that. So yeah. Any opinion on the typhoon in Alaska? The whole situation is sad and confusing. I thought we were beyond those types of unexpected tragedies. I mean, things can still happen, right? Tropical trouble is not something that, or storm trouble, I should say. That's not something that will ever completely go away. Think about was it a tropical storm that ended up being like a category 5 hitting Mexico a few years ago? These things happen. So that's the unfortunate part of weather is it's the future and we just do what we do. You know, you're always real with us. You know it, Maggie. You know it. Karen says, "Love not seeing the 90s, right? Like, yeah, we get a little warmer here or there, but that's kind of okay." Is it too early to check 1025 Long Island? Anything around 5:30 p.m. What? Holy cannoli! You're asking for 1025 Long Island 5:30. I mean, we can look at a model, but under set 5 that you're getting awfully specific. All right, I'll pull up a model for you just because it's the brother's wedding. All right. Oh, let me go back to the. Give me a few seconds. All right, Long Island. Stand by. All right. Let's go to the region because that's a little too close. All right. Long Island. What is it? What did you ask for? 25th? So, yeah, for now, it looks like maybe a couple of showers the day before. That's 2 a.m. on the 24th. That's 8 p.m. on the 24th. There's the 25th. There, yeah. So, Long Island's looking good. For now, Priscilla. Don't hate me if that changes, though. I'm a Florida meteorologist. I do what I can. Try being in your late 60s. Linda over on YouTube says, no filter remains. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Oliver, in my opinion, the broadcast personalities seem very scripted and not typical of the normal daily experiences of Central Floridian. Coffee Talk Eric would be better. The anchors. Listen, it's a business and they have consultants that tell us, the vibe, and the idea is professional. Look, Coffee Talk is always, I mean, I'm wearing a t-shirt today. Most of the time I wear at least a button down. Most of the time I wear a button down. I'm wearing a t-shirt because I'm going to be doing things out and about. But Coffee Talk has always been a bit more relaxed and laid back, both in personality. This is who I am. I think I'm pretty much who I am in person on TV, but there is definitely a little more formulaic element there. Whereas this is basically just my full on like ADD swapping around left and right kind of thing, right? So it is what it is. Oh, yeah. Stopping the newscast occasionally to yell at the kid dressed. Right. All right. Yeah, 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 Patty. Yeah, I can't say that, but point received. Yes. Kindness matters. That's my filter at 68. I get it. I get it. My tolerance level drops, but I think I'm recognizing that kindness is more and more and more important. Um, the older I get, it's free to be kind. I also just feel like the world annoys me. It is what it is. Do you think traveling weather on 27th going through South Carolina? It looks okay. Looks okay. Terry, Coffee Talk is sure laid back. Never hurtful, just truthful. Well, that's it. There's home mode, coffee talk, and professional mode TV. Right. Like, put on a suit, that sort of thing. Can't wait for a more casual news station to allow y'all to be yourselves a bit more. I want snarky shirts and merch. Well, listen. Um, Graybird ADHD weather. I knew I was in the right place. That's funny. See you, Melissa. Um, you know, I think that's work. Like I'm off today. This is not I'm not paid right now, right? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like I'm doing this because I love what I do and I love what we do. So and at work I have to be professional. Okay. It's not that I'm not professional now. It's just it's a little more me. That's all, right? So anyway, Andy says two words, Marty Stebbins. Thank you for being you, Andy. I love, rest his soul, Marty Stebbins. First time I met Marty Stebbins, it was like I am working where Marty Stebbins used to. I loved watching Marty Stebbins. I couldn't do that haircut, that flat top he used to do. If you ever want to hear a good Marty Stebbins story, I need to bring Pat Clark on and have Pat Clark talk about how Marty Stebbins was an astronaut. Oh my gosh. The best story. The best story. How about temps for the air show? Matt's asking. Let's pull up some raw temps. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull out the Mooney background for it. I think I have an air show. Hold on. Well, so these are the raw GFS numbers. So looking for next weekend, what is it? Highs in the low 80s, morning lows in the 60s. So more the same. Love that. I'm just coming into the weather computer. We have a new graphics package. If you haven't heard me talk about it 1,000 times, uh, the background. I'm just looking. So, do I use this for the air show background, or did I make it? I did. I did make an air show background. All right. So, I did make. I did make an air show background. So I won't be able to use my airplane for the air show. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. That will be the background for the air show when we put that forecast together eventually. It's pretty. That's real. That's not AI either. And this one's just sitting open. Like the river levels graphic is just sitting open. Eventually I have to eventually I have to revisit that. All right, somebody was asking about the coastal 7-day forecast. There you go. A couple of showers, especially on Monday. Otherwise that coastal one's looking great too. Do I see some 50s? What? Did you? I didn't even look. Hold on. Did you? Stand by wrong button. That button. Could be. We were just, I mean, I was just looking at when we were looking at the tropical GFS, I was saying like big cold front around Halloween. So maybe. And daytime highs in the 70s. Now, you always throw out the very last day on the GFS. That's garbage. The 64 for high, that's garbage. Ignore that because it hasn't gotten through the run enough. But that 77, 70, 75 for the 30th, 31st, and 1st, that's what it's saying now. I'm sure that'll change, but that's what it's saying now. The Ghost Woman, my dad went to high school with Dave Marsh. We've been around for a while. I know, I love that. I love that so much. Joe says we want Kellyanne Class to visit Coffee Talk again. She will. She will. Sadly, the cooler weather is nice, but not as nice as a lower power bill. Oh, yeah. Chris, you have a new graphics? What? You have a new graphic? Yeah, I know. I know. Use your plain foot. I'm not. The Mooney is not performing in the air show, so no. And have Pat Clark talk about his goop dogs. I haven't had a goop dog in a minute. Yeah. Finally, no sweating to death on Halloween. Slow down. Okay, well, slow down. Slow down. Slow down. My mom had a crush on Steve Rondinero. I spelled that wrong. Everybody had a crush on Steve Rondinero. I worked with Steve when I was over at another television station here in town, um, off of South Street in the 408 in my early part of the career. Hey, that's a nice 7 day. Uh, yeah. Let's see here. One of the models, not my models, Destiny, one of the models showed a possible direct hit. Has that changed? Yeah, I showed all of that at the beginning of Coffee Talk. Shifting a little further to the east away from us is good. That's the trend. It'll trend back and forth and back and forth. Don't dial into any one solution, though, at all. The Mooney may need to perform in the air show, but I digress. Yeah, depending on if there's any kind of funding for anything. My Mooney is not going to do anything but stabilized approaches. You don't. The Mooney is designed for efficiency, not for hot dogging. So, there's that. How's the weather today in Central Florida for this afternoon and evening flying home from Canada? First off, Mindy, you're going to be in a shock to the system. These temperatures are a bit different. I mean, 83 today. That looks so nice. 83 tomorrow. Ashley Nicole, my wedding is next Saturday. Was feeling confident about the weather. Why not so much anymore? Why not so much? First off, congratulations, Ashley. My wedding is next Saturday. I'm honored to be your official meteorologist. Let's move this back around. Let's come back to the southeastern United States. Let's get an idea of what the weather is like. This is the GFS, but we can look for you. Why would you not be confident? Let's look. All right, so Friday, Saturday. This is next week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When's your wedding? It's next Saturday. Here's Saturday. That's Saturday at 5 a.m. You're going to be waking up. I see a few showers, especially coastal showers next Saturday, Ashley. Your wedding looks great. A coastal shower is not going to ruin anything. Matt says, I think there are 2 to 3 civilian performers. Oh boy, that's. Mike says, the Mooney can do anything if you're wearing a Blue Angel jumpsuit. Well, it can do anything once. If you want to reuse it again, you may not be able to. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, Oliver. Yeah, that was the beginning of my career, was in that building. Ashley, of course, and thank you for chiming in and asking. We got you. We got you. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, people? Anything at all? This is the weather I love. Smell like Christmas. Really? I feel like it smells like October. I think they should have the Lake Howell Alumni Band play during the halftime of the Super Bowl. Did you hear us? We could barely play Johnny's Mambo. We're doing the UCF homecoming band tomorrow. I'm going to be out there at rehearsal today, so that'll be fun. Andy, cheers. All right. No, Ashley, I appreciate you for just asking me. Best of luck to you. All right, people, I'm going to go. I got work to do. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk on a Friday, October 17th. I will see you all tomorrow morning in the studio. I'm on Sunrise Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Can we do a field trip this morning like in the studio? Ain't much to see here.